Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Every institution, as any country, works on revenues, on money, on finance, produces things, exchanges things, takes loans, expands, and so on. So if you hit a business where it hurts the most, which is money, then you really are going to have a reaction. What's going on here? We have China making a very, very important move, and that is given by the example of Russia's sanctions instituted by international financing, by the United States of America. They take note of what happened with the frozen assets, and they sell off a record amount of dollar assets. So China is decoupling. They move away from these guys. Why? You can't blackmail me anymore. You're not trustworthy. We can't trust you. You are like a drunk guy with a shotgun in the parking lot, and you're drunk. So no, we can't have that. I'm moving out, or I'm arming myself, and the minute you say something, I'm going to point that to you, but you're drunk, so you're not going to be reasonable. So what are you going to do? Remove yourself from the premises of the parking lot, if you can. So let me show you this very troubling piece of news for the Americans, because without the petrodollar, the Americans must start working harder. I have to put harder, because if I say just working, what are we not working? Like what? Providing services? If you don't produce shit to exchange it, you have nothing. Hey, you have the dollar because the whole global system is based on your dollar. If that goes away, we have to start really producing stuff. Our massages are not going to be wanted. Remember when the Americans were upset with the Germans, telling that the Germans, we're in our transactions, economic transactions. You don't buy stuff from us. That's what Americans told business people, not business, they were government officials. They said in the Treasury Department and whatever the others, I can't remember. It was about 7-8 years ago. And the Germans responded, yeah, but we don't buy because we don't need anything from you. We got everything better and we buy it from somewhere else cheaper. You don't produce what we need. So these guys were like, duh. Yeah, exactly. What do you produce? Massages? No, they don't need massages. They can do it on their own. All right, so let's look at this article, which is very important. Sputnik. China sells off a record amount of dollar assets as US remains the world's bully, end quote. This word bully in quotation marks. This is 3 hours ago today, Saturday, May 18th, 2024. With the China-US trade war showing no signs of ceasing, the fully fledged partnership between Beijing and Moscow continues to prosper as President Vladimir Putin pledges privileges to Chinese investors in Russia. China sold off a record of 53.3 billion of treasury and agency bonds in the first quarter of 2024, a move seen as part of Beijing's drive to diversify from US dollar assets. Why? Because they saw how trustworthy the Westerners are. Don't do what we like, we're going to freeze your assets, legally or illegally, and we're going to use your money and your interest. How about that? So who want to do that? That bank, let's say, seized his money because he was having a problem with his neighbor. So that bank did not have any jurisdiction over whatever happened between the neighbors, and he froze his bank account. I'm going to go take my money out, even though don't keep your money in a bank. I learned this in Romania a long time ago, because you see it today and tomorrow is gone. The same thing with the stock market. Those numbers, if they go away, you remain with zero. That's why properties, gold, these are values. And these are the ones that you should buy if you want to invest. Stock market, yeah, do that. And these guys are just pulling the rug underneath your feet, and you fall on your butt and say, where's my money? All right, that's what you're going to get while you are pounded in your ass by these investors. Anyway, this comes as gold share in China's official reserves rose 4.9% in April, the highest on record. Yeah, and the gold jumped like crazy. Just so you know, in about 5 months, it jumped $400. I know that for a fact. $400 now is like 2,000. Now, if you want to buy gold, an ounce of gold, 30 grams, 30 to 33 grams of gold, you pay about 2,400 for a gold bar, 1 ounce. Got it? About 5 months ago, it was 1,960 some. So it was more than $400 in a few months. Go and check the charts. Maybe it's not 5 months, maybe it's 7 months, but it's this year. I know that for a fact. All right, because I'm a gold digger. And I'm quoting, it is a wise decision to diversify away from US dollar and to hold physical gold in your own country instead. Why would you want to sell it somewhere else? Claudio Gras, an expert on monetary history, economics, and an independent precious metals advisor based on out of Switzerland, told Sputnik. Yeah, okay. He calls US bonds a bad investment because they have not worked, especially since 2022, and are guaranteed to lose money. Gold outperformed US dollar bonds by 75% since 2020. In addition, the US has been used for decades already, US dollar, as a political weapon, that's the main thing, and with the arbitrary confiscation of assets due to pressure from the US government, the Chinese seem to be aware of the risk that their property could be also confiscated at any time. In addition, there is the BRICS alliance, which is gaining track and challenging the current world order. Also, emerging markets are buying up the gold because of these geopolitical changes and uncertainties. On top of it, they contribute today almost 50% to the world's GDPs versus 19% in the year 2021. Go. All right. There is more capital available to exchange for physical gold. I'm a staunch believer that gold is something, at least. If you invest somewhere, you have some numbers. That's it. And the numbers can be erased, like click, click, delete. Gold just taken, but if you chick, boom, boom, and others, then it's going to be harder. And you are in control of your gold. You think you're going to put your gold in the security box in the bank? Bad mistake again. Bad mistake. Why? Because it's someone else holding your gold. And at one point I say, no, we can't give it to you. What are they going to do? Then go and... Too late. The gold already was melted and given to that country in the Middle East. Just kidding. They own it anyway. They own it, the one you already have, the one that you already have. So here it is. If these guys hit the petrodollar, it's done, because it's the way kind of the petrodollar works, and not only the petrodollar. I'm going to give you petrol because that works. That is the, I know Nixon got out of the gold and silver that Mr. Remember JFK? He wanted to go back to silver backed dollar and eventually probably to gold backed dollar, and then he was, by Oswald. I'm pretty sure Oswald was not as unaware of that policy. So that's one. And then Richard Nixon, that I like to a certain extent. I didn't like this one, but anyway, he said, well, we're going to have petrodollar. We're going to have the dollar take out, no more gold backed dollar, nothing like, gone. So how does that work? We have the money. We have the printing machine, right? And you want oil. If you want to buy oil, you have to have dollars. In order to have dollars, you get to sell me something so I can give you dollars. So you give me, let's say, some cars. That's objects. You give me a car and I print some money and I give it to you. I create obviously inflation here, but hey, I have a product that I didn't work for. I give you the dollar. I'm making it very simple, not simplistic, simple. All right, I give you the dollar, you get a dollar, and you get the product that those people are producing it, oil, selling it. They sell the product. These guys build the product and gave it to the person who doesn't do shit, just prints the money. You got it? That's in a nutshell. I print the money. You guys make things, shoes, whatever. You produce things. I just print. And these guys are producing something. So they work for whom? For someone who prints money. So when this goes and that guy doesn't have to go and buy only in US dollars the oil, and let's say buys an own currency, when he's going to come here, what am I going to do? He's going to say, I don't need your dollar. I don't want your dollar. I want you to give me the product. I'm not going to pay. I don't want your dollars anymore. I want the products. We're going to be like with pants down. Well, we don't produce shit. I mean, yeah, we produce some garbage cars nowadays. Most of them. Because why? Because of the unions, partly. Yeah, the unions. They fucked up a lot of things. Personal experience with that. And not one experience. In various jobs. Okay, with union and with automotive as well. Nevertheless, let's move on. So, yeah, what are we going to sell? Stormy Daniels? Stupidity? They have stupidity, we have stupidity, you can trade that one. All right, my friends, here it is. The Chinese do this, and I expect the Indians to do the same thing, and everybody else, if they are allowed. Now, China obviously is not ordered by anybody, so we can do. India will do, Brazil does. You'll find out. Not Argentina. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.